So, yesterday I read a few passages from Advice from the Lotus Born, and I'll read them again. It is difficult to realize the nature of Ati Yoga, of the great perfection, so train in it. This nature is the awakened state of mind. Although your body remains human, your mind arrives at the stage of Buddhahood. No matter how profound, how vast, or how all-encompassing the teachings of the great perfection may be, they are all included within this. Don't meditate on or fabricate even as much as an atom, and don't be distracted for even as much as an instant. Let that sink in for a moment. So, Ati Yoga or Dzogchen has two parts relating to two stages of practice. The first one is traditionally called cutting through, trekche, and the second one is leaping over, tegal. I've given tegal instructions in last February in Dublin, and they can be found from the YouTube. I will return to tegal later on this retreat. So training or establishing this awakened state of mind. Samsara means going around in circles and being confused. Being caught in unstudied, uninvestigated thoughts and emotions. The whole of selfing. There is another part in the book saying that training like we are doing has to be done day and night, tirelessly, without stopping. Like if you want to get somewhere, if you want to lessen and ultimately put an end to this confusion, self-created, self-made suffering, You have to practice day and night, whether on retreat or off retreat. There is no other way. But saying that, it kind of sounds something very hard, arduous and hard and demanding and bone breaking. And sometimes it is. If you, I know all of us have dark nights, tough periods. So sometimes it is backbreaking and very, very hard. But not always. By definition, Dharma is medicine. What happens when you take a medicine? When you're sick and you take medicine, assuming that the medicine is good, not just like a new drug being tested. This drug has already been tested. What happens is that we start getting better right after starting after taking the medicine. So certainly, if the instructions are correct, they are sound from the first session, it will help. The medicine starts having a positive effect, and we start healing. Start to see through all this habitual thinking, compulsive thinking. I'm not meaning compulsive in the sense of Western psychology, but I'm meaning that thoughts, that are charged with this sense of self, they come all the time in a constant flow. So in that sense, it's compulsive. The good side of it is that once you start practicing, there is all the time material. Right? That's the good side of it. You have plenty of opportunities to take the medicine again and again and again, just by being aware and just by being together with these monkeys that jump around in your mind. Being with them. So shamatha meditation, calming down, means that the monkeys calm down. Vipassana means that as you are with these monkeys, they disappear. Disappearing monkeys. So what does it feel to be without the monkeys? I'm not necessarily meaning that we would be completely without thinking or thoughts, because thoughts are also very useful, but about this compulsive stuff, being without that. Even if we Um, well, opening of the first bhumi, awakening is a good example. You know, when that monkey has disappeared, it affects so many moments of one's daily living. And again, when some bunch of other monkeys are gone, again, there's more space in your mind, more selfless realization. What is selfless? By definition, means freedom, being free. And somebody who is fully awake, fully enlightened, a Buddha, has no monkeys at all. No impulsive stuff. Just radiance. Only radiance. Radiance. You all know how close it is. You all have had glimpses, insights. So you all know perfectly well that it's, you know, that this awakened state of mind, it's not somewhere else, it's not anything special. It is ordinary, but at the same time extraordinary from the point of view of confused samsaric mind. Let's say that it's extraordinary medicine. But the point is that even though it's closer than our own nose, we have these monkeys, like a rascal group of rascal monkeys. So there's the training. And also, this freedom when these monkeys disappear in, how do we say, when they disappear more and more. What is the word for that? Increasingly. You all know what it does to us, as how we change, as transform as human beings. You already know that. You become more calm, you become more present, you're automatically more loving. I don't mean like perfectly present and perfectly loving all the time, but more than it was before. You know, if you were a complete asshole before and a, really difficult person, there's some change in there. And one thing that Buddhism discusses and has different ways of different dharmic paths, how to go about it. There's the Noble Eightfold Path and, all kinds of maps. All kinds of ways to explain what this transformation is. But the way how I see it is that when insights start accumulating, you become more present, more calm, more clear, more loving, more compassionate towards others, more kind towards others, and also more, your life values, ethical values become, how should I say, clearer. I think that way because I think that ethical values such as truthfulness and being not harming, non-violence, comes from the nature of mind. Like if you start contemplating when you are in the recognition of the natural state, and you have two options. In this state of mind, of clear awareness, would you act non-violently or violently? Would you speak the truth or tell lies? Right? Are you following me? So I think it's that simple. There is a lot of debate by Dharma practitioners who have had some attainments and insights. There are people who say that, well, you can be a high, they say that somebody who's fully enlightened might not necessarily have perfect ethics, morals. And I think that logic comes from looking at many teachers in modern times and in the past. We have examples of teachers who have been considered very highly enlightened, but yet have done some, how should I say, contradictory acts. So some people reason, I guess, in the light of those things that, well, somebody who's enlightened might not have perfect ethics. But I see this differently. I think that if there is harm, if there is trauma, then the teacher cannot be fully enlightened. Simple as that. Because somebody who's fully enlightened has no shadows, has no blind spots, where these impulsive, compulsive habits could arise from. That's my explanation.